Hi guys, nice to see you. Mark, Craig, Emma, Ross, nice to see you guys. Good morning. We're playing number 18, Sassy Brave Yoga today. And just checking we're good. If you find number 18 on Spotify, we'll press play together. The first track is silent, so don't worry if you don't hear anything for a little bit. That's just so we can focus on our breath. So if you press play now and then come down to sit on your back or lay on your back. And you have a couple of options. If you want something a bit more restful, you can place a bolster under your knees or have your knees TP'd together or just straight out onto the mat. Have your hands spread out wide and just close your eyes and take a moment to focus on the breath. So as you inhale through the nose, feel the temperature of that air. And then when you exhale, notice the change. "2020 has been a bit of a tough year for most people. And so use this class as an opportunity to be kind to yourself. We'll take a big breath in together and exhale, release. We'll take a few counted breaths. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And take a few more inhales and exhales just like that. Or changing the count that suits you and makes you feel relaxed. Maybe they're a little longer, a little shorter. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Have a little smile to your face. Maybe wiggle your shoulders around. Get back into the body. Knees into chest. Give yourself a little hug. Pull those knees in nice and tight. We're not getting many hugs these days, so you can give yourself a hug. You have permission. If you have a block, it's a good time to drop it. Pigtails are not very helpful because I can't turn my head when I'm on the floor. So grab a block and place it between your thighs. Note to self, don't wear pigtails when teaching yoga. Tickle the backs of your heels, and we're going to just come up into a low bridge. So this is not a full bridge when you're in a really deep back bend. You're midway. So we do this so that we can align the pelvis. A nice way to do this that I really like at the moment is placing the left hand on the tailbone and the right hand on the belly. And you're going to tuck the tailbone down towards, so push gently the tailbone towards your heels and pull up your belly towards your face. So what this is encouraging is a tilting of that pelvis, which puts us in a neutral pelvis. So we're going to really switch on all the muscles, which will help us for the rest of the class. Squeeze the block a lot, reach the hands up, push the fingers into each other. So when we do this, we're not just hanging out and they're just gently touching. This is really active. So you're going to push the fingers together as much as you can and then reach your shoulders up towards the ceiling. So this is called protraction of the shoulders. So you'll start to notice, you'll start to shake, and this is when you know you're doing the right thing. Push through the heels, keep squeezing the block. Don't just stay here unactivated. Really use the engagement of the glutes here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to open the hands out to the side. Keep active through the fingers and reaching through those arms. Hover just off the floor. So not letting those arms actually touch the floor, staying really active. Exhale, come back. Now remember this movement because we're going to be doing this again. Inhale, open the chest. Hover the hands off the floor. Really reach through the arms to the sides of the room. Stay active in the fingers. Keep those glutes engaged. Exhale, back up. The whole body is working. Gently bring the hands down and then lower upper back, middle back and lower back to floor. Remove the block. Moving into core. Interlace hands behind neck and head, elbows up towards the roof. Feet stay on the floor. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, come up. We're going to reach through the right hand over that right knee. See if you can get a little higher. Reach over as much as you can to raise the shoulders off the floor. Hands comes back. Inhale, lower. Exhale, left hand reaches. See if you can reach over that knee. Really lift the shoulders off. Hand behind the head. Inhale, down. One more each side. Exhale, come up. Hand behind the head and down. Exhale, left. Hand behind the head and down. Option to keep doing this, or you're going to take it a level up. Exhale, rise. Right hand goes over the right knee. And then in the same movement, we're going to take that hand out to the side and hover it off the floor. So how wide you take that hand is how difficult you want this to be. The further away the hand is from the axis, the harder the core works. Inhale back to center, hands behind the head and lower. Don't know about you, but I was feeling that. Exhale, come up. Left hand goes towards that left knee. Really active through the fingers and open to the side. So even keep the shoulders up off the floor. The closer your arm to the floor, the harder it is. So just don't take it so far if it's really intense. Come back, hand behind the head. Inhale, lower. Another one each side. Exhale, reach over the right knee. Open the chest. Hover off the floor. Keep the shoulders off the floor if you can. Don't pull the head. Just have that left hand resting behind the head. Hand back, then behind the head and lower. Oh my Lord. Exhale, come up. Left hand reaches and over to the side. Coming back to center, see if you reach up again. Get those shoulders off. Hands behind the head. Inhale, lower. One last level. Are you ready? Just one on each side. We're going to exhale, come up. Reach that right hand. The left foot points towards the air and you lift the right foot. And then inhale, open to the side. So that left foot's at 70 degrees. Come back, hand behind the head, and lower, drop the feet. That's only an option if it feels okay. Otherwise, stay in one of the other levels. Exhale to come up, reach to the left hand. We're going to straighten the right leg and lift the left knee, and then open to the side. This makes it a little harder. Inhale back, hand behind the head, and back down. Dropping the feet, little windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. That's a great core exercise. Definitely feel the burn. Little rock and roll, or if that doesn't feel good, do whatever feels good to come onto your hands and your knees. A funky little dolphin to start out. Dolphin's awesome for the shoulders. This is why we activate this early. So elbows on the floor, grab your biceps, hands out wide. You're going to tuck the toes and come up into a dolphin. Now you notice my knees are bent, so that's absolutely okay. If you do have straight legs and you want to walk your torso further over your arms, that's okay too. If you have tight hamstrings, this might be you. You might even have them more bent. Step your feet nice and wide. So the right arm is going to come back so that it's in line. Your wrist and your elbow are in one line. I'll turn this way so you can see me. And gaze down towards your feet. Now push up into that left elbow so that you're not sinking down and headbutting the floor. And the right hand, come onto your tippy toes, tippy fingers, and place your hand on your lower back. If that's too much, just stay in the first option. Relax your neck and head by looking at your toes. Take your arm back. Option to come down or stay as you are and do the other side. So the left hand comes behind so that you're stacking your elbow and your wrist. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you want to take it to the next level, push through that right arm and place that hand on your lower back. Look between your feet, relax neck and head. This is great for working on your dolphins or any inversion. Left hand back. I should have said pincher or handstand. Knees down, maybe a little child pose. Wow, I can hear that rain on the roof. I don't know about you guys, but there's a tin roof in here and it's loud. Lovely. Push into the hands and come up. Apparently going to be the coldest day of the year today. I hope you have some heaters on. Hands in front of you, tuck the toes, push up and back. Down dog. Pedal out the knees. I brought Ross over here from England and I think he believes I misled him with the weather. I think Craig, I don't know what you expected from Melbourne as well, coming from England. It's been one of the coldest winters, I reckon. Look between the hands and step forward between the hands. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Bend through the knees and slowly roll up. Hands come through heart center, reach high. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment to feel into your feet. A little rock forward and back, maybe closing the eyes. Let's get moving. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold. Breath in, halfway. Breath out, hands to floor. Step or jump back into high plank. Always an option for knees to floor in your chaturangas. Reach forward through the chest, tuck elbows in, slowly come down like a push-up, tricep push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. So roll the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows in, and push the tops of the feet into the floor. If your glutes are just hanging out, I want you to squeeze them so they're active. Tuck the toes, push up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Arrow lunge. We're going to reach up and point the hands behind us. So we push into that front heel and also push the back heel towards the back of the room and reach through the crown of the head. So it's really a lot of work for the quad. Inhale, we push up and come into crescent lunge. Relax through the shoulders. Tilt the tailbone down. Hands to floor and flow. Step back. Option knees on the floor or chaturanga to the floor or 90 degrees in the elbows. Inhale, up dog. Squeeze the booty. And exhale, down dog. Pedal through the legs. Left leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. Arrowhead. So really imagine like you are like a shooting arrow. Push through your back heel. And if your belly's resting on your thigh, try and lift it up. If you're not feeling your quad, it's likely that you're resting your torso on that front quad or you're not activating. So push through that heel and lift the toes. Inhale, slowly come up. Don't use momentum. Crescent lunge. So if we take it slow, it's actually a lot harder. Hands to floor, step back and flow. If you want to pimp up your chaturangas, you know most of you can do one-legged chaturangas or chaturanga push-ups. Up dog. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. We're going to add a new couple of moves on top of every flow. So inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step between the hands. Rise into arrowhead. So get nice and long. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. That back foot flips to the floor. That front knee is over the front ankle. Gaze to middle finger. Get low in the legs if you want to make this more into flexibility. Pushing down through the blade edge of that back foot. Extended side angle. So we're going to gently rest that elbow on the thigh. So rather than really dumping down and taking all the weight, I want you to just have it resting. So if I was to walk past and knock it out, you wouldn't fall down, okay? So just see if it's just resting. Or balance the hands just off the floor is a really nice version to make sure you're working. Relax the neck. Hands to floor, step back and flow. Knees are absolutely fine. Or if you have a shoulder injury, coming into a cat-cow instead of a chaturanga is absolutely okay as well. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog, breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. Inhale, arrowhead. Exhale, come up, crescent lunge. Breath in to prepare. Exhale, warrior two. Pushing down that back foot. That alignment is between the front heel and the back instep of the back foot. I like to try and get a little deeper in this one. Because my hips are tight, I like to try and work on flexibility here and strength. So I'm also having this sensation of almost pushing my heels into the floor and ripping the mats apart. So that's the vibe you're going for. So it's active, but also into flexibility. Exhale, resting very lightly that bottom arm onto the quad. Or if you want to work more in strength and flexibility, just hover the fingers off the floor and carry that torso weight. Relax the neck. One more breath. Exhale, hands down and flow. Step back. One-legged chaturanga. Chaturanga push-ups is absolutely fine too. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Arrowhead, inhale. Exhale, warrior in crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Breath in. And exhale, extended side angle. Option to come to the floor for a little bit more flexibility. Now we're going into half moon, so make sure that you can find where you're going ahead of you. So if you do need a block, get that now. We're going to see come out from strength. So we're going to reach forward with the hand and step that back leg straight. Ooh, and see now if you can have a balance off the floor. Activate that back toe. Might be a little wobbly, that's okay. And just see if you can open that hip, flex the toes towards your shin. Use that left glute to pull the legs straight. One more breath. And exhale, step that foot down and fold forward over the legs. Maybe bring the hands behind the legs and gently pull yourself forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back and flow. High to low. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, last round. Inhale, left leg rises. Breath out, step between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Whoa, that rain, I don't know if you can hear it, it's great. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, come down, extended side angle, option to go to the floor. Try to reach through that top arm. So we're going into half moon. Look at where you want to go. So I want my hand to be here. I'm going to place my hand there, just in front of my left foot. I'm going to come onto the tippy toes of my right foot and then balance up. So the hips are already open from our extended side angle, so the hips are in the right spot. But we're coming into balance with strength. Flex the back toe. Imagine that right glute. Squeeze it. Lift it. One more breath. Maybe hover off the floor with that hand if you can. Then exhale, hands to floor. Step that foot together. Fold over the hands and ragdoll. So gently rocking from side to side. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Step or jump back and flow. High to low. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Right leg reaches up, breath in. Bend the knee, open the hip. So you have a couple of options here. You can stay where you are. If you have flip dog in your practice, you're welcome to come into it and reach that top hand up and over. Stacking those knees over the ankles. If you do wild thing, that's also an option. I prefer this version. Hands down, step back to three-legged dog. If you didn't do the back bend, just stay here with us. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten that front leg. I like to step my back leg in for Trikonasana. Reach forward and down for triangle pose. So we're trying to keep that top left hip back, because often what can happen when you're quite tight is you round forward, and that's a different position. We're trying to open the hip to the side of the mat and then tilt down. The hand is up. Option to grab that right ankle and maybe pull up to use more of the core. Relax neck and head. Maybe a smile, because it's Saturday. Bring on the weekend. Twisted pyramid. If you have a block, it's a good time to use it. I'm going to place that block next to my right foot. And my left hand, place it onto the block in a fist, or just grabbing the block, and twist over towards the right. So this twist is for the spine, and you will naturally have a bit of a twist in the hips here as well. So you can either have the hand on a block or on the floor, is obviously more intense, or you can have your hand on the outside of the right foot, even on a block. It's going to deepen the twist in the torso. Hold for another breath, maybe two, because this one is really great for the back. Release the hands, bend through that front knee, slowly roll up. Hands come to heart center, turn the feet out to the side, hips, fingers on the sacrum and then around the hips, elbows back, squeeze the glutes, a little back bend, and exhale to fold. So for me, I like to have my feet a little wider, so you can have a play. If your head's on the floor, you want to bring your feet closer together because it'll be more of a challenge for you. Obviously, the wider your legs are, the closer your head will get to the floor. Inhale halfway, exhale fold. If you do have a bulletproof headstand and you want to have a go, you can come into a version of headstand here. Maybe this version I prefer rather than tripod, but it's up to you and your practice. For those of you staying with me, we're going to come down into snake squat on the right side. So we come down onto the heel, the left toe comes up towards the roof, getting nice and long through the back of the leg. Right heel can be lifted or on the floor if you're more flexible. If your heel's on the floor, maybe the hands come to heart center or a bind. Place your hands on the floor and slowly walk through the middle to the other side. Lift the toe on the right foot, get nice and low. Now, if this is too much, just having your hands on the floor up here is a great option. Hands to heart. If you are in this version, it may be a bind if you're here. Otherwise, hands just under your face. Hands to floor, slowly walk back. Hands onto the hips, reach through the chest, come up halfway, breath in. Bend through the knees, slowly roll up, breath out. Turn both the feet to face the back of the mat. Step your back foot halfway up to meet the front. Pyramid pose. So place your hands on your hips. We're going to tilt the hip bones forward. So this is actually where most of your flexibility should be coming from, not your back. So your back should be straight. You should be tilting from the hips. Hands maybe come to the floor or 2 blocks. If you have 2 blocks, you can rest here and work on that flexibility. Hips are nice and even. Draw that right hip forward and that left hip back to make sure you're not tilting in the pelvis. Inhale, reach through chest. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Inhale, reach one more. Get long through the spine and exhale, fold. If you can get your nose towards your knee, that's great. It's definitely not necessary, but that is the movement that eventually, once you get your chest on your thigh, you may get there. Inhale, reach through chest, walk the hands forward, pyramid twist, one of our favorite, they call it revolving triangle as well. So place that right hand on the floor and reach up through that left hand. Now, if you want to make this deeper, you move the block closer to the left foot or on the outside of the left foot. Check the hips, they shouldn't be twisted. So push that right hip back and the left forward. The twist is all from the spine. So this is really good for detoxification of all this part of the body. One more breath. Reach high through that top hand. Exhale, hands to floor, remove the block, and step the feet together. Little ragdoll, grab the elbows. Bend the knees a lot if you need to, rock side to side. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Step or jump back. Move through your flow. High to low plank. Inhale to up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out the legs. So get ready for the other side. Inhale, left leg rises. Open the hip, bend the knee. So it's absolutely fine to stay here. If you want to have a play with bending that right leg and straightening it and pushing that right heel towards the floor, you'll start to open through the hips. Bring that left knee towards the glutes. Option to flip over onto your back into your flip dog, only if this feels good. Watch that shoulder on the right side. If you have a shoulder injury, this is probably not a good pose for you. There's a lot of pressure on that shoulder. Knees are stacked over ankles. When you're done, come back. We'll all meet back in three-legged dog. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Trikonasana, triangle pose. We straighten that front leg. I shimmy that back heel a little forward. Imagine that right hip going back towards the back of the room as you reach through that left hand and then tilt down. Reach up through the right hand. Maybe left hand grabs the ankle and pulls up. And relax neck and head. If you do have hypermobile joints, you might want a little bend in that front knee to protect the knee. Otherwise, having it straight is fine. Gently bend through the front knee as you lift up. Oh, I forgot one of our favorite poses. Come back down into a twist. So we get that right hand onto a tall block or onto the floor. Reach through the chest and then twist to the left. Almost forgot one of your favorite poses. God. Option here is to have the hand on the floor or to hover the hand if you want to work on core strength at the same time. That takes a bit of the twist out of it for you. Hold for another breath. Releasing that left hand, bend through the knee to slowly roll up. Hands come through heart center. Turn the toes out to the sides of the mat, the edges. Hands on the hips, thumbs into sacrum, fingers around hip bones, elbows back. Squeeze the glutes, little back bend, breath in. Exhale, fold. Maybe move the feet a little wider if that feels better. Hands can be under the face. So we come into a twist. Right hand into a fist onto the floor in front of your face. Inhale, open through the left arm. Twisting towards the left. Release right ear to right shoulder. Left arm comes to floor. Reach right hand up. Focus on the breath. Inhale, hand down. Snake squats going down towards the left. Now your option here is to do this from strength the second time. Just have a play. Don't have to, just if you want to. You can try just coming up without the hands, controlling the movement and coming down into the flexibility, but from a place of strength and control. If that's way too much, just use your hands. That's absolutely fine. Inhale, coming back up to center. Bend through the knees, come up halfway, breath in. And exhale, come up to the top. Turn both your feet around to the back of the mat. Step your back foot halfway. So we're getting ready for pyramid. Hips are nice and square to the top of the mat. Place your hands on your hips and tilt the pelvis forward. Inhale, grow through chest. Exhale, fold forward over that right leg. For me, this is the one that I bend my knee a little bit because I have a little bit of a tweaky hamstring here. So just know your own body. Sometimes a little bend can really mean that you can fold forward more in the spine. Keeping that back. When I say fold forward, I don't mean rounding. I mean tilting from the pelvis. And so your back and your spine, your back and your pelvis are obviously connected. So that muscle is what you feel stretching. Inhale halfway, place your left hand onto a block, maybe in line with your left foot or closer if you want more of a twist. Inhale, reach through chest, grow long, and exhale to twist towards the right. Look at your hips. You want to bring the right hip forward and left hip back so that twist is coming from the back and not the hips. Release that left ear to left shoulder. Little shake is totally normal. Stay with that. One more breath. Exhale. Fold forward over your legs, step your feet together, ragdoll, grabbing your elbows, and a little rock from side to side. Bringing your arms behind your legs and cupping the backs of your heels. So what we're going for here is then we start to straighten the legs. Because our elbows and our forearms are behind our calves and knees, it means that we're folding forward even more. So look between the feet. So at the top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Step the feet together, sweep hand behind you. Inhale. Exhale, come up into chair. So we get nice and deep into our chair. And in this version, the feet and the thighs are together, squeezing tight. Weight is in the heels, almost so much that you're toes are lifting. Come a little lower, tilt tailbone down, arms up. We're going for our fun twists. Inhale, hands to chest. Exhale, come a little lower. Inhale to reach. Exhale to twist towards the right. So you can stay here in your twist with palms together, or you can fly, open your hands, or if you are into your arm balances, you come into side crow. Hands to floor, make that shelf, and come up. Beautiful. If you want to scissors, you can open the legs, have a play. When you've had enough, whatever version you've taken, come back into a fold forward. Step your feet hip width apart. Place your right hand around your right toe, so first 2 fingers around the right toe. Get nice and strong through the left leg. We're going to stand up. So pull into that left toe and push into it at the same time as you gently start to lift the leg up, bend through the knee, come to rise. A couple of options for our leg extension. You can keep the bind with your toe. You can place your hand on your shin, or you can use the strap. But today, I'm going to use the toe option, and exhale, extend the leg out. So if you want to stay in this version as well, it's absolutely fine. Take a breath in and exhale to the side. So I'm playing with extra strength in our stretching today. So what we're going to do is let go of our toe and hold our leg with our strength. Are you ready? Hand on your left hip, prepare, pray, and then gently release. Hold it out. Keep holding and gently rotate that leg back to center from strength. Reach through the heel, hold for 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Beautiful job. Sweep behind you. Airplane pose. Hands are facing towards the floor. Option for warrior 3, which is hands forward. It's a lot more stressful on the back. Hands can be on the heart or facing down. Lift with that right glute. Standing leg splits, hands to floor. Option to play with strength or flexibility. Flexibility, you grab that left leg and pull your torso towards it. Strength, hands flat on the floor, spread wide, protract through shoulders. Come onto tippy toes of the right foot. Look at where you want to go. So I'm looking here. Little bunny hops. And it don't have to stay up for very long, but it's just a sense of trying to get the heart rate up. If you can get against a wall, that's also good. Otherwise, just when you've had enough, come into ragdoll. So placing the feet wide, grabbing the elbows, and rocking from side to side. And what I really love about getting into inversions is it really elevates how much fitness you get from a yoga practice. So if you can start doing little bunny hops against the wall and holding a handstand for even 10 seconds, that's against a wall, obviously. It's really, really good for your fitness. So fold over the legs, rock side to side, step your feet together when you're ready. Sweep hands behind you, inhale. Exhale, come up. Come into chair. Tilting pelvis, squeezing thighs, hands up. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, sit a little lower. Breath in, extend through chest. Exhale, twist to the left. Again, you can stay here or open the hands. This is going to deepen your twist. Or if you want to come into side crow, hands come to the floor. So you want them nice and wide. And you create a little shelf. So bend your elbows a lot. And then you can start to, just like a little lever, lean forward. Maybe you grow, so you might want to spread and come into your scissors. Legs to floor when you've had enough. Fold over the legs. Feet hip width apart. Left fingers around left toe. Get grounded through the right foot. We're going to stand up. So gently raising up one leg. If that's too much, just come up to stag, which is what I'm doing now. Option to grab the shin or use a strap to extend, or big toes around the left foot or the side of the foot. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, extend. So today on this side, I'm going to use the side of my foot. Actually feels quite nice for me. And exhale out to the side. So obviously the higher your leg, it's going to be harder. So if you do have a strap, if you lower it down, it'll be a little easier. So we're going to come from a place of strength here. So smile, get ready. Just like life, it can be a bit tough, but it's worth it. So we're going to release and hold. Oh my God. And then with strength, take it really slow. Bring it forward. Raise the heel as high as you can for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend the knee. Oh my gosh, reach behind you. It's really, really strong pose, but it's so good for your quad strength. Aeroplane. Make sure that left glute is engaged to raise that leg up. So the goal is to have your head and your back foot in one line. When you've had enough, come into standing leg splits. Flexibility, place your hands onto your heel and try to balance. Bring your forehead to your shin. Or if you want to come to strength, come onto that right tippy toe, press into the hands, look at the top of your mat where you want to go, protract through shoulders, and then jump up. So it doesn't matter, definitely don't get up every time, but it's just a bit of fun to get the heart rate going. And exhale, fold forward. Or maybe a little squat. After I've had my head below my heart a lot, this actually feels good for me. So maybe it's for you as well. Bring hands to heart center as we start to use our breath to slow the heart rate. Good news is you made it through the hardest part of the class already. Coming into our frog pose, hips. So maybe this is your hardest pose, I don't know. Depends on some people. If you're Josephina and Emma, this is your favorite pose of the class. So we're going to have our knees wide on the mat. I've folded my mat out 3 times, so it's nice and padded. So my knees are wide. I have my ankles in line with my knees and my feet are flexed. So from behind, this is what it looks like. So feet are flexed, knees and ankles are in one line, the same on this side. So to assist yourself, it's an easy one to do a self-assist. You place your hand on the inside of one of your thighs and you just shift the knee over wider. That's going to make it more of a deep pose for you. If you do have a block, keep it handy. I'll tell you why. What's important here is you don't let your hips go forward. You'll take all the stretch away. So I'd like you to push back so that your glutes are between your knees. Then you'll start to feel the hip stretch. Option, the hands can come down onto the floor or the elbows. And I'd like you to pay attention to your back. Is it dipping down banana back to the floor? If it is, tilt your tailbone a little bit. Maybe get that block or 2 blocks and place it under your chest or under your belly is an even better spot if you're feeling like it's dropping. You might need a few blocks. Like I'm not that flexible in this position, so I actually would need another block to make this work. So let me get it. So I'm going to put 2 blocks here to make sure my back is not tilting down, and that actually feels really good. So you can build a little fortress. And then see if you can, if it starts to feel quite reasonable and you're not feeling much, you just move the legs wider. And then bring your attention to your breath. If you have those blocks and you need to take one away because you want to go a bit deeper, feel free to do that. Maybe a block under the chest might also be a nice option to relax more. Keeping the eyes closed and finding areas in the body, in the hips that maybe you can relax. And once it feels a little easier, do a little self-assist and move the knees out a little wider on each side. Make sure it's always balanced, whatever assist you do. And if you really get into the pose and you stop feeling it, it's often because you've shifted your chest and hips so far forward. So just gently encourage your hips back and you'll feel the pose again. So this is getting deep into the groin, so the adductor muscles. And it's a really nice move because we don't often get to do this in life. We're sitting at our desk. These muscles don't really ever get a stretch. The more you release here, the more that you let go of those muscles that are holding on, the more that this pose opens up. When I was training in my yoga training, my teacher once left us for 30 minutes in this pose. It's interesting what starts to come up when you're in these hip openers. Your brain starts to make all these weird excuses and reasons to come out. You start to get angry or frustrated or sad. Some people get emotional. Take a few more breaths here. You're almost through. So savoring the last minutes. To come out, it's really important you pay attention. You bring your heels together first. Remove the block if it's there, and then shimmy forward on your chest onto the floor. Oh, and slowly straighten your legs. You windscreen wipe your knees from side to side once you get straight on the floor. Oh, come up into an upward facing dog. My gosh, that felt really good. Sometimes it feels horrible. I did it on Thursday and it definitely did not feel nice. And we'll slowly come back. It's one of these poses I think you need to do a lot to make it feel good. And you can gently roll the mat out. And we'll come into a couple more forward folds for those backs of the legs. So we'll reach out that left leg, nice and long. Bend through the right knee and then out to the side. I like to remove the padding from under my glutes. The glutes are the padding from under my hips, so that I'm sitting nice and tall through the spine. All the same terminology as before with your forward folds in pyramid. We're going to reach forward with the chest and actually put your hands on your hip bones and tilt from your pelvis rather than your spine. Just notice if there's quite a big difference. And your back is nice and straight. And then see if you need to have a little bend in that knee, that's okay. I do that because my hamstrings are quite tight, so you're welcome to do the same. And it's in the times in yoga where we're still that can be the most challenging. I know for me, when we're moving, flowing fast and doing challenging poses from strength, it's where I'm getting those endorphin hits, and I love that fast-paced, fiery yoga. But what my body actually needs is more slow and mindful stretching. Maybe that's for you, maybe it's the opposite way around. Walking your hands up and imagine slowly stacking each vertebra on top of each other as you roll up nice and slow. The knee that's bent, bring it over the top of the straight leg, Lord of the Fish, left hand hooks around and twist towards the right. So I keep that right hand nice and tight, nice and close towards my back to make sure it's straight. Chin can just stay towards the chest. I flex that right toe on the floor. Inhale back to center and exhale hands to the side for counter stretch. Exhale chest to floor. Inhale to rise. And we'll swap sides. So we're going to straighten through the right leg, bend the left knee in, and then out to the side. So we do that so the knee is in the femur is in the socket and then out to the side. It's more friendly to the body. Move the padding out of the way. That butte, getting a little bit bigger through iso. Reach up through chest and exhale to fold. This side is not as flexible for me, so I have to take it slow. And you can, with your forward folds, your first time that you forward fold is not where the edge of your flexibility is. So I might start here, but I'll inhale, lengthen through chest, and exhale to fold a little more. The more space you create through your lower back, the more that you might find you can fold, or even grabbing the outsides of your hip bones and folding them forward. Closing your eyes, maybe, if that feels nice. And releasing here. Seeing if there's parts you can just let go of. I like to gently move my head from side to side. It helps my neck release. Release the jaw. Maybe make space between the teeth and little circles. See if you can sink a little further now. Exhale, release. Slowly walking the hands up. That left knee comes over the top of the straight leg. Right hand hooks around. Get nice and long through the chest first, and then twist that torso to the side. Taking a little hand mudra or hand position of your choice. Maybe the thumb and the first finger touch. Inhale to center, exhale, hands to the other side, lower the chest. Inhale to rise up. And place the feet flat on the floor as we slowly start to roll down into our bridge, our back bends. So we have 3 sets of back bends here. Option, take a block. We'll do progressively more difficult bridges, and the last of 3 can be wheel if you want to do that today. So coming down onto your back and placing the block between your thighs. This is option 1. Option 2, if you want to just do leg raises, you can. Tickle the backs of your heels to make sure you're in the right spot. Inhale to prepare, and exhale to come up. So this, we're going to roll our shoulders under, interlace our hands, and this is coming more into a back bend than at the start of the class we were using glutes and activating the glute strength. We're really tilting that tailbone towards the heels and really strong through those quads and glutes. So squeeze the block, squeeze the glutes. So this is how active your bridge should be when we take that block out. So we've got 2 more versions with leg raises, and last option is wheel. Release the hands and slowly come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Take the block out. Tickle backs of heels. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to come up. Roll the shoulders under. From here, place the right foot in the center of the mats and bring the left knee into the chest and exhale to straighten. Push through that right heel, squeeze the glutes. Option to stay in the version we were in before. Bend the knee. Slowly lower down. Stay up where you are. Shimmy that left foot into the center of the mat. Push through the heel. Squeeze the glute on the left side. Exhale, right knee into chest. Inhale, straighten the leg. So we're pushing that heel towards the roof. So we're really strong through the left glute, and we're actually stretching through the right side. So really active. Keep pushing through that left heel. Inhale, bend the knee, and exhale down. Release the hands, and slowly come down. Upper back, middle back, and lower back to floor. Windscreen wipe the legs. The next one is just an option. We're going to come into wheel with an option of leg raises. So it's the same as what we're just doing, but in a wheel. So if this is way too advanced, there's option 1 to just stay at bridge, or option 2 to play with leg raises in bridge. So if you want to come into wheel, and I'd only recommend this if you've done it before. So tickle the backs of your heels. Inhale to prepare. And we're going to put our hands behind our head for wheel, not to grab the piggy tails. There we go. So with wheel, you want to make sure that your elbows are towards the roof. So they're stacked over your wrists. You don't want them out to the side. You've got to think about stacking the bones in all of your yoga poses to give your joints the best chance of not being injured. So if you do have problems with extension in the wrist, You can do this against a wall with blocks and actually put your backs of your wrists on a block. It'll mean that you'll get less extension in the wrist. That's if that is your problem in bridge, in the wheel, sorry. Inhale to prepare and exhale to come up. So if you come up onto the tippy toes, it's actually easier. So if you're coming into a leg raise, you're going to place the right foot into the center of the mat and bring the left knee in towards the chest and exhale to raise. We'll only stay for a little bit. If you want to stay longer, you can. Inhale, bend the knee, lower, and then walk the foot over, place the left foot into the center, come into the tippy toes, and bring that right knee in and straighten up. Bend the knee and lower down. To come out, chin to chest, slowly bring that up, that back of the head, and then upper back to floor, and gently come down, upper back, middle back, and lower back. Whew. That is a deep back bend. So if you didn't do it today, please don't worry. Bring both knees to one side. Inhale to the middle and exhale to the other. Now we really slow down. Inhale to middle and exhale to the other side. The good thing about yoga is there's always a variation up and back to wherever you want for your body in the day that you're practicing. Inhale to center and exhale one more time the other side. Bring knees towards the roof. Make sure that lower back is flat to the floor. Come into a happy baby. So we push that lower back into the floor so that's nice and long and releases from compression. This is a neutralizing pose. So coming into your final inversion, if you're working on a certain pose, you're welcome to come into that. So handstand, pincher pose, any of those. If you want a really restful inversion, you can place a block under the sacrum and just raise your legs up. Even raising them against a wall is even more restful. If you'd like to do shoulder stand, you can bring your legs over your head, squeeze those legs together. And if you do want to come into plow, you can, just being mindful that if you've come into a very deep back bend, take it easy. Flex the toes and gently bring those legs behind the head. Maybe bending the knees and bringing the knees in towards the face. Keeping those hands on the lower back for support. Coming down, placing the hands on the floor like brakes, slowly releasing all the spine along the floor. And coming to your final resting pose, your Shavasana. If you do come into shoulder stand, you may want to come into a fish, which is placing the hands under your glutes and raising up, pointing the toes. This is a counter stretch if you came into plow and shoulder stand. If you did a restful inversion, you can just come into an early Shavasana. Chin to chest and start to straighten the arms. Taking any last movements you need to feel nice and even. So happy baby is always a nice one. And when you're ready, Shavasana. And you're welcome to stay as you are a little longer in Shavasana. But if you would like to come out with us, you can gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring yourself back into your body, back into the room. Maybe licking the lips and running the lips over each other, creating space between the teeth. Inhale, reaching the hands overhead and reaching through toes, stretching through spine. Exhale, knees to chest, giving yourself a hug. Pulling in the knees, and maybe if it feels good, a little rock from side to side, massaging the sacrum on the floor. And when you're ready, rolling onto your favorite side, using your bottom arm as a pillow, keeping eyes closed. Gently helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your hands gently on your knees and eyes closed. And I'll finish the class today with one of our mantras at Brave. And it is to be brave. Be brave enough to be who you are without apology. Be brave enough to face yourself when you fall off track. Hear your inner critic and tell them to shut up. Love fiercely without barriers. Remember, you have 2 ears for listening and 1 mouth for speaking. Let go of things that are no longer serving you. Believe you have all you need within you right now. Trust that those who want to be around you will make the effort. Leave toxic people and drama to the side. Always be kind and have compassion. Forgive for your inner peace. Love yourself and remember, you've got this because you are you and you are brave. Hands to heart, take a smile to yourself. I think that those words really mean even more to me now than when I first wrote them opening the studio after this last year of 2020. And I really have loved having all of you with us along the way. And I can't wait to reopen and have such an awesome community, to have little chats and teas and hangouts and to be around each other physically. So thank you for all your support digitally. It means the world to us. And hopefully see you in the studio soon once things pass a little bit. Have a great... Oh, this isn't cold, Craig says. That's good. Craig reckons it's not that cold. Should tell Ross that. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely day.